Northern Ireland is home to many historic and naturally stunning sites, such as the Giant's Causeway and Slimish Mountain. Unfortunately, Northern Ireland is now one of the most nature depleted areas in the world. With bird species taking some of the biggest hits, farmland bird populations have fallen by 43% since 1996, and 50% of breeding birds are red or amber listed. Birds on this list include the yellowhammer, whose population between 1970 and 2018 fell by 60%. It also includes the turtle dove, whose population has declined by 98% since 1970, and the stone curlew, with only 365 pairs left in the wild. "28.4% of Northern Irish land is designated as areas of outstanding landscape, but that doesn't provide specific nature conservation, so just 9.8% is statutorily designated for nature's protection. Some special protected areas include Strangford Lough, Rathlin Island and Lough Neagh. Areas of outstanding landscape include the Antrim Coast and Glens, the Causeway Coast, which includes Giant's Causeway and Carter and Root Bridge, and the Lagan Valley. There are many reasons for the decline of nature in Northern Ireland, like deforestation, global warming, agriculture and industrialisation. Water status is a huge concern, as 0% of rivers and lakes achieved good chemical status in 2021 when assessing priority substances, which is a commercial agricultural insecticide and a group of forever chemicals. This affects marine life in Northern Ireland, such as the European eel, the Atlantic salmon, and the Kemp's Ridley sea turtle, all of which are endangered.
My name's Elizabeth Grace Brown. I'm a student veterinary nurse. I've been doing veterinary work for about nearly 3 years now. In the practice I'm in currently, we see mostly dogs and cats. The rare occasion we do get wildlife, it would be the likes of like pigeons, hedgehogs, a bird or two as well. I think just ethically, it's very important. They're another life living, right outside our door, and they have family. This is their home, and we have a duty to protect them as best as we can, and to protect their habitat as best we can, as well as just a responsibility to our planet. They all hold a very specific and integral role in the ecosystem. So, if we keep them alive, we're really helping keep our planet alive. If you dump small like bottles or any plastic, sometimes it can get trapped around the neck of wildlife. They can try and feed their babies small bits of plastic. They don't really understand that it's not edible, and they want to feed their children. So the main thing we can do really is, the usual stuff that we hear people telling us is to like recycle and respect our wildlife around us, respect the area around us, respect nature, and just do our bit really. We're building new roads through wildlife areas, and we're basically dehousing these small animals out of their homes, out of their neighbourhood, and we're forcing them into very dangerous situations or very dangerous areas where they may not survive. Sometimes they run out into the road and they're immediately killed. So we're really, really endangering animals, mainly with industrialisation. That's what I see most. We do it with, littering, with agriculture, even just the attitude we have towards wildlife. Sometimes we're a bit uneducated and we'll maybe, see a wild animal and we'll pick them up without really thinking about, is this what we should be doing? We just think it needs help, and that's not necessarily the case. So sometimes it's also human error. I think you mainly see that in foxes, especially in mainland. They have what they call urban foxes, so they don't really do any sort of hunting or, for prey or anything like that. They'll mostly scavenge. They're very social. They'll go up to people. They'll look for food. They live in these urban areas and they mainly scavenge on what's left over. Animals will adapt around us. You see pigeons and seagulls frequent in areas where they know there's going to be a lot of food dropping. Number one thing to do is call a wildlife sanctuary. So that would be USPCA here, and get as much information you can off of them. They'll give you usually a vet code, so you can go down to the vets and get treatment. So you're not paying for any treatment, you're just a code so that that animal can be treated. But make sure you get as much information as you can. You give them as much information as you can so that they know the situation that animal's in, and they know whether that situation is something that it needs to be taken out of. Sometimes it's really just you need to leave it alone to let the mum come back or see how it gets on. It's not always like take out of that situation and immediately get help. Sometimes you really do just have to let wildlife do its thing. The influence that nature decline would have in Northern Ireland, it's really the same sort of impact it would have anywhere else in the world. Say tomorrow all foxes go extinct, just for example. So their natural prey doesn't have a natural predator anymore. They'll multiply and multiply and multiply, and then their natural prey will have so many more of this natural predator. That fox's natural predator, now they've got no food source. So it really does have a domino effect. We lose one species, one type of animal, it really does have like a ripple effect on every other animal in wildlife and in our ecosystem.
Agriculture causes a multitude of problems for wildlife and nature. Northern Ireland has, according to a 2023 census, 26,131 farms, with approximately 1 million hectares. Farming contributes to 28% of Northern Irish greenhouse gas emissions and 12% of the UK's ammonia emissions, while only representing 6% of the land area. Industrialisation is happening all around us. The most recent example in my area is the road, house and estate and college campus that has been built directly through the centre of the Ecos Nature Park. Home to hundreds of butterflies, farmland birds such as snipe and dunnock, as well as mallard ducks, geese and swans, all of which will have their habitats ruined. I asked for a statement from the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs. I asked them, as a young person whose future relies on the health and survival of our wildlife, what they were doing as our government to combat the massive decline of natural wildlife. I never got a reply. I did email the Ulster Wildlife Charity, who did reply with ways in which you can help wildlife at home, like volunteering and making your garden wildlife friendly. With Northern Irish nature rapidly declining and only charities and volunteer groups, such as the Ulster Wildlife, doing anything to try to reverse the damage, we need to demand change from our government, and we need to do it now.